Are we all good?
Yes.
Brilliant. So we do have almost 82 participants here. And we are also live on Facebook at the moment on the official page of ECA, that's Early Childhood Association of India. Good evening, everyone. My name is Pranay, and I'm also your co-host. And before we start the session, I would first like to welcome you all, and I'm hoping that you all are taking fantastic care of yourself in in the event of this COVID-19 and this situation when we are not able to move anywhere outside. So before we go ahead and talk about this, I would just like to quote what Mark Van Doren once said: "The art of teaching is the art of assisting discovery." So we are extremely happy to discover our moderator today, that is Sudha Suresh. So I'll take this opportunity to invite and also make sure that all of us are there today. So we have almost PCMC and Pune participants joining in today with all of us, and I'll take this opportunity without taking a lot of your time. We'll just talk about our moderator, who's Sudha Suresh. So Sudha is a microbiology graduate with a postgraduate in counseling. She's an educationist for the past 30 odd years, a master trainer for global programs in mathematics, IMATS, Dino Art, and Fast Track Kids. Sudha happens to be the director at Drishti Enrichment Private Limited, which happens to be the master franchisee of Maharashtra for Helena Grady. An old friend, the erstwhile committee member, and a former secretary of ECA PCMC committee. Networking, training, and providing business solution has always been a passion. So, ladies and gentlemen, I give you your moderator for this evening for this thought-provoking panel discussion on alternative ways of learning. I give you Sudha Suresh, your moderator.
Thank you so much, Pranay. That was very kind of you. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to today's session on alternate ways of learning. Our panelists for the day, a set of innovative leaders in the field of education. To start with, we have Aditya Taparia, Director Jumpstart International Kindergarten and National Core Committee member for ECA. Welcome, Aditya. We have Purnima Shetty, ma'am, preschool mentor and teacher trainer, founder principal of INS and Vivero, active committee member of PCMC Pune. Welcome, Purnima, ma'am.
Thank you.
We have Mona Dalmia, co-founder of DLRC, the Learning Farm, the driving force behind the creative and educational aspects of the center. Welcome, Mona, to this session. We have Ruchi Agarwal. Her journey has been with alternative and creative schools. Yes, she is heading Aman Setu, which is an alternate school. She's worked with Trita, which follows the Waldorf education. Welcome to the panel, Ruchi Agarwal. And
Thank you.
Last but not the least, Swati Mutha, founder director of the preschool Wonder Kids, active committee member of ECA PCMC. Welcome all of you all to the panel discussion on alternative ways of learning. I think for a while now, educators around the world have been thinking about the need to rethink how we educate future generations. And this COVID-19 period is a good time to reflect on how the crisis can help us define education. And I'm sure all of us here, senior educationists present in the panel, in a way are looking at how do we define education during this COVID-19 period and take it forward to the next few years. Let me put forth a question here to each one of you. Maybe we start with Aditya. Do you believe that we all have become more innovative in our teaching methodologies since COVID-19? Aditya, over to you.
Thank you, Sudha. I feel we all have again put on our creative hats on, and everyone is trying to find, innovate, be more creative in the way they are delivering the concepts to the children. Everyone is come to a state where they know that probably 2, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, that the next way of delivering content or education to your children is going to be through the online way. And everyone has started experimenting the alternate ways of delivering content. And what is going to come out or what is going to fit everyone is something which probably no one can answer right now. But what I feel is going to be the way forward is a model which is going to be a hybrid model, where content would be delivered at home via via one-way streaming, via YouTube or any of these online platforms. And there certainly will be a time where probably once a week, twice a week, where kids will be called at school for social interaction or certain developments which cannot happen at home. We all know that there are certain restrictions or certain limitations to online streaming or online classroom conducting. A child doesn't have a patience to sit more than half an hour, 45 minutes, the way otherwise a child stays in school for about 2 hours, 2.5, 3 hours. So I think, yes, there is going to be an innovation. There is going to be a hybrid way where schools are going to come, innovate, see how many classes they need to deliver. They will always they will always have to go back to parents, ask for parents for a feedback, learn from the feedback from the parents, again come back, evolve their way of teaching, again come back, do a class, see whether that fits it, again go back to the, it's going to be continuous feedback process by which they're going to evolve with a new way. Probably it will take 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, but eventually we'll come to a way where we all will be used to a hybrid way of working, where
Fantastic.
probably kids
Yeah.
will only come to school for about 1 or 2 days in a week.
I think that sets it when he talks about a hybrid way of working, which is what is going to be the next session for all of us, most of us. Going to Mona, if we can just get the answer from her. Yes, Mona?
Hi, Sudha. Yes, so I have a lot of notes here, and the question is very relevant in today's time. Are we going to be more creative? If I speak from DLRC's point of view, we have been thinking about this for the last now 2 months from the day we locked down. I think it's more than being creative. I think it is about how do we continue to deliver the curriculum, in line with our philosophy. So we believe very strongly at DLRC that children need to be the future citizens. They need to be more resilient. They need to be adaptable, and we all need to evolve, no matter what the situation is. And I think that is what I think that today's time is giving us an opportunity to do just that, to evolve. So no matter what platform we are going to be using, because that is we will all figure it out ultimately, of course. But I think what is more important is to keep in mind what are we giving to the children at this time, and also the implicit messages that are going to the children at this time. Is it just about learning lessons that we do in classroom, or is it more than that? This is the perfect time to impart those life skills which the children otherwise may not get. Like for example, when they're in a school setting, of course they have a chance to social interact with each other, peer interact with each other, with their facilitators. There's a lot of social development that the child undergoes, which now maybe they will not have the chance to do so if they're going to go through online education. So what are the other skills that we can work on for the children? One of the things that we can really work on is resilience, and adaptability. So what do we do in a situation like this over which we have no control? We can all adapt. And how best to adapt where, it's be. So when I'm looking at it from children's point of view, this is a perfect opportunity for an educator to give this to the child to take more ownership for their learning. What is it that they would like to learn?
Yes, ma'am. And I think somewhere what we are talking about, the 21st century learning skills, we have been bombarding it left and right. Right now, we have got this time and space to actually get the 21st century learning skills in our children, right? And more than the children, it's the teachers and the educators, all of us. I think this is COVID-19 has taught us all. How do we really take this thing forward? Thank you so much, Mona. I move on to Ruchi. Yes, Ruchi?
So I think this is a wonderful opportunity for all of us as a community of educators to be creative about thinking about what are the true goals of learning and education. What is really needed? Do I really need to complete 21 chapters and tick them off on the index page? Or what is the essence of these chapters, and what do the children really, really need to know? So I think it's a wonderful opportunity for us to come together, redefine education, get creative. And we're always talking about partnering with parents. But this time, we're going to truly partner with parents. Because without each other's support, education
Not
and
going.
learning is not going to happen.
It's going to be incomplete. And I think COVID-19 gives this boon now. It's come with a boon where you are able to partner with your children, you partner with your parents, and also the space that was required by each one of us. The educationists needed that space to think and to reinvent and to redefine many things. And now we have the time and the opportunity to do that. Yes, Ruchi. Over to Purnima. Thank you.
Yes, I mean, creative. I think educators have always been creative, but somewhere in between period, I think we kind of lost it or put it on the back burner. And the creativity, if I have to talk about the early years, the preschool and the elementary level of children, I think the educators were concentrating too much on just the art and craft time in the school, and the creativity was being seen over there. But now COVID-19 has forced every educator to look at it in a much broader perspective, as it should have been always. Now we have to, like Ruchi said, or even Mona said, that we have to collaborate with parents. There is no doubt. We've been talking about we want to collaborate with parents somehow, but it was not happening in most of the preschools or elementary schools, And but now it is something that I think unless and until we have that collaboration from parents, I think taking learning forward would be difficult. So yes, we have to come up with many new things, ways of reaching out to our children, engaging them in a more, in a very, very valuable way, in engaging them very, but again, knowing our children are really tiny, especially children below the age of 3 or 4, it's really very difficult to engage them on a platform like this. So we will have to come up with different solutions, more creativity, and I'm sure all put together, educators will come up with a lot of different answers to reach to their child.
Yeah, so I think Purnima over here, we are talking about getting into the learning more ourselves. So educators becoming students is something which we really need to focus on now, because it's going to be learning for each one of us. How do we adapt? How do we collaborate? How do we really work towards the best for the children and the parents? Yes, over to Swati.
Yeah, actually, my thought is little different. I can understand there are challenges like using technology, parents in the classroom. Children are not used to this pattern of classroom. Maybe internet connectivity. These all are the new challenges which we have to face. But what do I believe, when we are using alternative ways of teaching in the classroom, we have to think always. We have to be innovative always. We have to be creative always. That spontaneous thinking, that flexibility, that creativity has to be there. Without that, we cannot use alternative ways of learning in the classroom. So we keep exploring ourselves, we keep evolving ourselves, whether the classroom is online or offline. So I feel like little change is required, but as we are using, because when I'm working, I keep on thinking every day. My ways are different every day. So only the thing is like this is from offline to online. So that changes. I feel it won't be that difficult if we adopt to that easily.
Thank you, Swati.
Thank you, Sudha.
Yes, she got a new line to it, which is technology. I think many of us so-called educators also, many of us had this challenge about technology, whether we are tech savvy, whether we are going to be able to really work on that platform. And again, COVID-19 has opened up a new way of learning through technology. We are all adapting. We are all trying to learn, become students ourselves, and reach out to our children. Thank you so much, Swati. Alternative learning is here to stay. I think that's the next way of teaching and the next way of learning. Alternate education encompasses many pedagogical approaches, I'm sure, differing from the mainstream pedagogy. So there are different approaches which many of us, for us, it would have been a first step to learn and to know more about it. We have over here Ruchi Agarwal. She is heading the Aman Setu School, which is a school program. They have a very balanced approach and they develop the head, heart, and hand, the three H's. And that's wonderful and that's beautiful that we are talking about the balancing the heart, head and the hand. And that too in a careful harmony that we talk about. So let's hear more from her on what is the strategy and what is it, how do they really take this, impart this in a virtual classroom? Over to Ruchi.
Thank you, Sudha. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the educators like Rousseau, Piaget, Montessori, Steiner, and closer to home, Tagore, J. Krishnamurti, or Gandhiji. They all propounded an alternate to education as we know it, the way we grow up, the way our parents grew up, the way most of the schools are functioning. They spoke about a difference in education. Now, what was this education? It was a kind of education of which the features were freedom, flexibility, creativity, application, and learning from experience. In fact, Tagore said that children are like a tree that has the power to gather its food from the surrounding atmosphere. We don't really have to do much for a tree. We just provide it some water, make sure it's in a sunny, sunlit area, and they do their job. So we'll have to rethink education and see if we can provide children an environment, facilitate their learning, and have the faith that they will glean from their atmosphere, from their environment, and grow and develop. What we have done right now with education, and we've all been saying this is a great time to reflect, is that we've actually taken away the earth from a child when we try to teach him geography. We've robbed him of his love for languages when we try to teach grammar. Children want something beautiful, fantastic, but we're supplying only facts and data and information. So that is alternate education. And in this current scenario, more than ever, we need to really think, is it so important to do 21 chapters? And what is the real essence of studying a chapter in English? Is it just ticking off chapters? Or is it my creative expression, my comprehension, my vocabulary skills? So if we just look at the goals and the true essence of education, the objectives that we want to accomplish, then we will be freed from completing data and syllabus and portion and textbooks. So does it matter that a child can write an essay probably learnt in a Hindi tuition class or a Marathi tuition class or from a guide? Or does it matter that essay writing is a means of expression? They're two very different things. One is just writing lots of things that sound nice and eloquent on a piece of paper and get you the marks. But what really matters is, did they have a deep connection with an experience? And do they really, really feel so excited to talk about it? And did we provide them an atmosphere that's non-judgmental enough for them to write and express? So that is the true essence of essay writing, of language. Did we give them an experience? Did we give them an ambience? And did we give them some tools? At our school at Aman Setu, we believe that science cannot be learned in a classroom. Science is meant to be learned outside. Manipulate materials, explore, experience, and make your own conclusion. So we call science explore. Of course, now we're all locked down at home. So how does it connect? So this is what I say to all of you educators and parents sitting out there. This is the time for that innovation. This is the time for that jugaad. This is the time for that paradigm shift. And where should we shift our focus? Where should we shift our paradigm? So the focus of learning, the paradigm shift that we need is to move from the periphery of information and data and facts to the essence, which is skills, which is freedom, which is flexibility, which is allowing children to go at their own pace. The focus should be now on using the least resources or the resources at home to learn everything that I can learn. And like I said before, This is the time for parents and children to use their imagination. You don't have a book, or you've read all the books that you have, narrate a story without a book. Because when I'm using a book and I'm showing pictures, I'm giving them a, a set picture of what a girl looks like, or a boy looks like, or the monster looks like. But if I read a book without showing pictures, because books aren't available, new books are not readily available, 21 children are going to think of 21 different pictures to understand what I've just spoken. So use your imagination, explore their imagination, let there be a blast of creativity. Use creative visualization. You want to do art and craft, but everyone doesn't have paint and paper at home, and some point of time they're going to run out of it. So are we going to think in the same way and say, oh, I need to provide pen and pencil and crayons to the children, so I'll order it from Amazon? Or are we going to use the opportunity to be creative? Can I use mud paste from the pots in my balcony? Can I use haldi paste? Can I use rice paste? Can I use the tiles of my house as a drawing board and rub it out and then draw again using my mud paste? That's art. That's creativity. So this is a time to really push ourselves to that boundary and see where we can go. And I tell you, if we embark on this journey, we're all going to find something truly, truly wonderful. This is really art. This is really creativity. And I'm going to leave you with a quote by Rumi. It's my favorite. Everything of the universe is within you. Learn from yourself. Thank you.
That's so beautiful, Ruchi. I think within you and within the environment, we rarely, seldom work with the environment, with the nature. So she beautifully summed it up with the experiential learning, the experiential learning, of course, the inquiry-based method that we all talk about, but most of us have just lost it, and it's more on the information-based approach that we all follow. Thank you so much, Ruchi. And I think one thing that Ruchi brought about is boredom. Many of our children, have not been exposed to something called as a boredom, which actually opens up so much of creativity in them. It allows them to express, it allows them to explore, it allows them to come up with beautiful ideas. But I think that's not set in their daily routine, which is not given to them. And I hope that COVID-19, post-COVID-19, we are allowed and we are engaging our children and allowing them to be with themselves and explore more. Thank you so much, Ruchi. Over to Mona. Yes, Mona, she has been the founder director of DLRC. So alternate education is something which we all talk about now. And I think it was a dream project for Mona and Ajay some 5 to 6 years back, where they started a school on alternative learning methodology. And they started with one student and going ahead with more than 289 students today. Let's understand how do they really implement this in the classroom? How is it benefiting the children? Are there any challenges that they have ever come across with the children in your school? Yes, Mona.
Thank you, Sudha. All right, so we'll start off. Yes, thank you firstly for giving such a beautiful introduction. Yes, it has been a dream project, but we didn't realize it was a dream project until it got manifested. So now it definitely is. DLRC is a learning farm. It's a little school which is based on a farm. We may call it alternate because we employ many different ways of doing things. I will give you a quick gist of some of the things that we do. 3 things I'll give you. The first thing that we have in place is a triangle between the parents, the facilitators, and the students, which is a very thick triangle. And like each arm of the triangle, everybody has an equal role to play in bringing up the child. And that is why the whole idea of imparting holistic education can come true, because when the parents are partnered with you, are holding each other's hands, only then a child can feel emotionally secured. And when a child is emotionally secured, they can find their place correctly in the social setting, which helps them to develop in inter and intrapersonal methods, right? The second very important thing that we do at DLRC is an immersive learning. Now, immersive, when I say immersion, it's really putting your not just your feet, not just getting your feet wet, but actually immersing the whole of yourself in the experience of learning. So everything, every domain, whether it is cognitive or whether it is kinesthetic or interpersonal or intrapersonal, everything gets a chance to develop in a child. And I think that is one of the biggest things that we have been able to achieve at DLRC. Now when I say also immersion, it's not just about immersing in education, but it's also about immersing in nature, which is one thing that we are really happy we are able to bring around as an alternate space, is that children are in the campus itself provides and affords the immersion in nature, which helps the children to connect to their roots and stand on the ground. And if we are connected to our ground, then we can grow tall. Like Ruchi said, trees don't need much nurturing, but we need to find our roots in the ground. And I think that is one thing that we are really trying to do at DLRC. The second thing is immersing in learning. Now, learning comes in all forms. Even learning how to talk to somebody else is also a very important part of an education. Education doesn't only mean coverage of syllabus, it also includes interaction between two people. How should that happen? Interaction with yourself. Are you even a reflective person? Such things need to be brought into it, and we are very happy that we are giving it a very honest try to do it at DLRC. The third thing is that our immersion in the arts. Now, we don't see arts as a separate program than academics. The whole approach to using of head, heart, and hand is integrated into everyday timetable. So, we have in the afternoons we do lots of hands-on activities throughout the day. We have academic lessons, we have sports, we have yoga, we have treks. So the kind of holistic timetable, I mean, I know timetable sounds like such a small insignificant thing, but what we have realized is when we schedule time for doing things, then only things can get done. So that was a first start, and we were able to do a lot of those things. The third thing I'll pick here is the ratio of students to facilitators is extremely low at DLRC. We have 24 students and 2 facilitators in every classroom. That enhances every learning opportunity for the facilitator and for the student. And I think that is a huge benefit, I would say, we see as being an alternate education space, is to be able to bring this immersion. Immersion is only possible when there's that much of investment from all sides, and whether it is parents or whether it is teachers or whether it is students. So that is that those are some of the things that I wanted to bring out, and that is what DLRC is doing.
Thank
And
you, Mona.
yeah, so
Yeah, so Mona spoke about, thank you so much, Mona. You, again, there was immersive learning that we spoke about. And it's so true that immersive experience is a lifelong learning. So that experience itself is a lifelong learning, and the environment provides that. And DLRC, the environment provides the immersive learning that is needed for the children and how it stays with them for life. Thank you so much, Mona. Now, we did hear from Mona and Ruchi about the alternative learning methodology, how it can be implemented in the classroom, how in a virtual classroom we can work on the inquiry-based learning, the immersive-based learning. But there is one environment which has to be nurtured too. Yes, and when we talk about alternate ways of learning, there is one environment for sure that needs to complement this learning, and that is the home environment, which is so necessary. So, Ruchi, Mona, and all of us as educators, Purnima, we all work towards the environment in school. But what about the nurturing environment, the immersive environment, the learning environment that needs to be provided at home front? And the parents, how do they need to work on this to provide the alternative learning methodologies at home too? Over to you, Purnima. Yes, to define a parent's role in this learning methodology.
Thank you so much, Sudha.
Thank you.
Definitely. I mean, secretly, I think we all educators have always wanted our parents to be more involved in what happens with their child. And we always feel that they should complement whatever we are doing at school. They should complement by doing it at home. Now it has come to a point where the parents will have to take the onus and create that environment of learning. I mean, yes, nurturing environment in other ways like emotional nurturing, social nurturing would happen at home. But now today it has become imperative that the home atmosphere also be that of learning. Now, when we say learning or when we say education, let us first see what is it that we mean by education or by learning. What do we want to accomplish? Yeah. Now, there are a few things that we need to accomplish as far as the learning is concerned. One is we want to give information to children. Then we want to promote understanding, cognitive development, understanding of whatever topic or whatever we are talking about. Then we want to keep all our children actively engaged and very so that they learn not just by listening or not just by looking at pictures, but also by actually putting their entire body into it. Yeah. Then we have to provide for opportunities for them to experiment so that they would, whatever they have learned or whatever they've heard, they can actually implement it. Uh, that will help them to expand their knowledge base. It will help them to understand the world around them. Uh, and then after all that, then equip them with academic as well as life skills. That is when we will say that yes, a child is truly educated. They know all about the world. At the same time, they also are equipped with uh, life skills. Academic skills can be incorporated in their everyday routine. Parents, once the educators give you a lesson, or whatever they have done online class, in their online class, the parents can complement that by including in their everyday routine. Now, there are few strategies, there are many strategies actually, which can be incorporated. And I think this is one time when in school learning and homeschooling can truly come together and for the benefit of the child. So here you can do learning through play, where you don't make it a task, but you keep it fun. Then you can adopt games or play games with your children, which have got elements of academics in it. I'm saying academics here in this way, where parents normally get very worried about how will my child learn ABCD, how will my child learn 1, 2, 3, 4. So writing is not what I'm talking about, but actually understanding learning of those concepts, whatever concepts are there, and being able to use those concepts in their daily life. Involve children in cooking. Cooking is a fantastic medium to teach almost every kind of this thing, be it sensory learning, be it mathematics, be it, uh, vocabulary building. I think cooking does all of that. Then helping them, asking them to do small tasks at home, like laying the table or folding clothes. Over here, don't look at things from a critical point of view. You haven't you haven't folded them correctly, so don't look at the achievement. I'm sorry, don't look at the perfection, look at the achievement. Look how many clothes they have, and how can we incorporate academics in this. Now we can tell the children, children, all right, today fold all and keep together all pink clothes, all blue clothes, all white clothes, all black, or make piles of 5 clothes and keep them all separate. So here there are a number of ways in which you can simplify. And here again, I'm talking majorly of the preschool and the elementary level children. Then doing by the other strategy as learning by doing, which children can do it very easily, like fine motor development, pick up the clothes and put it in near the washing machine. Now, that is something even a 2-year-old can do. So something like this can easily be incorporated. There are multiple benefits of this. The child is engaged, is learning, is developing, and the mother is, or the parent, both, either mother or father, is able to find time to do whatever they are doing.
Yeah, and I think so, Purnima, here we are also talking about this interaction with the parent actually develops the self-esteem and the confidence of the child.
Absolutely.
Huge improvement in the child's self-esteem and the confidence when they are working at home too. With the
Children will learn to rely on themselves, and
Yes,
they will
yes.
know that, yeah, I don't have to depend
on somebody.
everything with my mother.
So well said.
My
so well
mother
said.
or father. You can ask them to, you can, give them, we have stacking cups in our schools, where we ask them to stack, and we talk about ascending, descending, numbers, colors. Now here you can give the same thing. We have big patilas at home, which go one into the other, one into the other. Those are nothing less than stacking cups. So ask the child to put them in, from smallest to the biggest. So ascending, descending can come in over there. They are handling different kinds of material. So sensorial learning is happening. So, I mean, it's so much. Now today, a lot is being spoken about sensorial learning. In our schools, we have special walls for sensorial learning. We have special areas where children can do. This happens as you live. This happens as you live.
Somewhere the parents don't know about it much. So rightly said, Purnima, you are actually taking them through the entire process of sensorial learning with the parents.
Absolutely, absolutely. So like this, then ask questions, inquiry based, ask questions like all the W questions you can ask. Oh, okay, did you, what have you folded today? Which clothes? Whose clothes? You have folded. Or can you take these plates and put them in front of the chair? You're talking about direction. Put 4 plates in front of 4 chairs. Put the glass next to the plate. So there's huge amount that you can go on.
Yes.
Talk about. Then you have role play. Role play. Today I am going to be a student. You teach me something, or we both will learn something, and let's explore trains. Or we can say, I'm going to be a chef and you're my assistant. So bring me this, bring me that, all the things, all those kind of things. You can do a role play. So, I mean, huge amount of things.
Yeah. So I think Purnima has really shared with us all that can be implemented at home so very easily for the parents. This is fantastic because many times we go through a webinar, but we don't know how to implement it. And Purnima here has given us tips on how do we implement it at home. Thanks so much. Someone who has been walking the traditional path for a very long time and took to alternative learning, Swati Mutha, and she tried alternative learning with her school, which she's run. She's a founder director of Wonder Kids. So Swati, any challenges or any benefits that you would want to stress upon that when you work with the alternative learning methodologies in your school, or you introduce them in your school?
Yeah, thank you, Sudha. Actually, when we have started with Wonder Kids, it was all traditional ways everywhere. It was the parents were feeling that the play schools are the waiting room. The children who are not eligible for the school, this is the waiting room for them. And then going to the schools, learning ABCD 1, 2, 3, that was only the focus, or reading and writing. When I was talking to them about the problem solving, critical thinking, logical thinking, again, the question was, hey, what are you going to teach in the classroom? So the parents were not accepting the things actually. So it was a big challenge for me to transform the parents from traditional ways to the alternative ways of learning. When every teacher was teaching A into the classroom on the board or either on the book, I started it with up, down, line in between A. So parents suddenly came back to me, what is this up, down, line in between A? But the miracle happened once my student was passing by from the London Bridge. If you know the London Bridge, the hanging bridge, which looks like A. And then he said, Mom, look at the bridge. It's looking like up, down, line in between A. So the mom was so happy to see it. It is a practical approach to the thing. It is not only the learning ABCD, or it was his vision, it was his relativity, it was his memory, which was actually he was using it there. So when I started using alternate ways of learning, parents actually showed good interest towards that. Initially, it was difficult for me to convince them because every school was following traditional methods in the schools. So when they were coming for the inquiry, whatever I was talking to them, it was all again on me. What are you going to teach in the classroom? What is your syllabus for the year? What is your curriculum? Whether it was a playgroup or a nursery. But then slowly I started shifting those things to this new thing. It was simple texture. When I asked one of my teacher, if I want you to introduce textures in the classroom, who has been to the traditional school for 5 to 6 years. I said, how will you introduce texture? She said, will have simple 5, 6 different textures in the back. I'll take it to the classroom and let every child feel it. And then we will tell them which is this texture, and then we will revise it 3, 4 times. I said, why not to do it? Take the children to the garden. Let them roll on the grass, which is soft. Let them walk on the hard stones. Let them touch the rough leaves and let them feel smooth flowers. So when we started doing it, children were going everywhere to experience it. So it was their vision, it was their relativity, it was their thinking, critical thinking, analytical thinking. Then from there we went to on the road with the small bags. I told them to collect whatever they want from the road. And they collected the things and they started making very beautiful things out of that. They were saying, oh, ma'am, I would have got that one. I would have put it here. I'm not nothing. I don't have anything for the ice. Can you share some ice for me? Can you share some small stones with me? So when we started doing all these activities and sending those pictures to the parents, and children started telling their experiences at home, the parents were so happy, so happy, so happy. I don't have to do anything else apart from that to convince the parents, actually. It was a little challenging, actually.
But I think, Swati, the best thing that happened here was you broke the confinement of the classroom. You took them out. And also, somewhere alternative learning was introduced in parts. So it was not thrown to the teachers also. So the acceptability of the teacher and the children was 100%, because slowly it just, it sinks in. When you slowly get into it, you start loving it, you start experiencing it, you start enjoying it, and you could see the joy for learning in every child of yours. Thank you so much, Swati. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I have a question. Sorry to interrupt you, Sudhaya.
Yeah.
Yeah, we only have 7 minutes for us to wrap up the session. So if you can just take some questions also, because there are a lot of questions which we have from the viewers today.
Yeah. So just the last one, because this is something which we are looking for hearing from Aditya. So Aditya Kapadia, I remember his quote. He says, "Survival of the quickest," and that's something which is hammered in all our. We all remember it. And Aditya, that leads to the next question. Are we all getting geared up for a newfound approach to be more progressive? Like, what are the solutions for the future, according to you? What could be the solutions that you could give the parents, the educators, and all around here, all of us?
So I know, Pranay, we are just running out of time. We have 7 minutes. So I would just want to say that the way forward is going to be a collaborative way, where as quickly as we adopt to the new system, we get feedbacks, we re-evolve, not try to stick to our own conventional ways, probably adopt to new ways. There are going to be a lot of problems which we might face initially, but I'm sure in next 3 months, everything will be streamlined back to the place where we were. So that is where I would like to put things on.
Thank you
so we
so
can
much,
take questions now.
Yes, we will take questions, because I think the audience, we are getting quite a few questions. Yes, Pranay, help us with the questions.
Great, thank you, Sudha. And I'm so sorry to interrupt you here because we have limitation of time today.
Yeah, I can understand.
So there's a question from this viewer called Akshay Tandon. He says, my question is that online classroom is a threat to conventional school program. So if you could just handpick one of the panelists, and if somebody would like to volunteer, we'll be very happy to go for it.
Yeah, so I think if I could ask Aditya to answer this question, Aditya?
Whether you like it or not, probably that's going to be the way forward. Online classroom can definitely not be a substitute to a physical classroom. So we as educationalists need to evolve and to find ways by which we can deliver one-sided delivery of content at home, and probably do much more interactive, where a teacher could just be a facilitator when a child comes to a school, and see what more a child can learn by facilitating, engaging him with a two-way sort of an engagement in a school environment. I think that that is where the school is going to be going forward. Definitely a physical school cannot be substituted with an online school. This is what my take.
So I think partly we maybe in the future we would have to work on a part system where we do have online sessions and some of them a physical one too, right, Aditya?
Yes,
That
absolutely.
is going to be the good out here. Yes, Pranay.
Yes. So the next question is from Miss Anju Sam. So she's asking, what is the role of a teacher for the well-being of a child for his overall mental health?
Interesting. Ruchi, over to Ruchi. She's talking about the mental health, the teacher's role in it.
So this is something we have been discussing with our team since the last 2 months, since COVID-19 started, that much more the role of the teacher is going to be that of a counselor, of a friend, because we already know statistics, child abuse is on the rise, alcoholism, domestic violence, every kind of unspeakable violence is taking place within the home, and children more than ever are going to need counselors. So teachers now more than ever will have to play the role of a counselor, and this is what I have shared with my teachers and my team, that syllabus completion, learning is not as important as the mental health of the students. So develop a rapport with the kids, stay with them, and be with them through this very, very difficult, even traumatic time.
So I think, thank you so much, Ruchi. I think teachers have to become counselors. More than that, it is teachers are the best counselors today, because the connect that the children have with the teachers, I think that really helps them trek to this path. Yeah. Thank you so much. Any other questions?
Yes, we'll take the last question, Sudha, for the day. This question is from Kavita Shah. She's asking, even parents are working from home these days. So how do parents spend time with their kids these days? Because that is really getting super annoying.
So we have a parent counselor here. Of course, Purnima ma'am, please answer this question. If you could take it.
Yes, I mean, it is a dilemma. It is how do I look after my child and attend to my work and do all the other work. Also, the other work probably will get taken care of once COVID-19 is a little, we flatten the curve, so to speak. But yes, online work and managing children can be a handful. However, I think here the innovation of a mother or a father comes in. Here they will have to manage, I think they will have to decide who, what, a lot of new things will have to come in. Parents will have to decide who's going to be with the children, how long. And I would like to say one more thing here is that parents needn't be with the children 24/7. Let children be on their own for some time when you can do your work. It is absolutely required. Children will be self-sufficient. She will learn that this is my time and this is my mama's time or my daddy's time to work. This is my time to be with them. They will learn that, but we will have to create that environment. We will have to sit and actually have conversation with our children. Whether your child is 2 years old or 5 years old, it doesn't matter. But you sit and have a conversation with your child.
Yeah, thank you, Purnima. Here, just to add one more sentence out there, Mona has a say in this. Yes, Mona?
Yeah, I'd like to say something. I think there are two things that come to my mind. One thing that since this is an alternate situation, I think we should look at some alternate things that we can do besides just thinking. And we're talking about very young children. So when we can do one thing is to help with their well-being, is to show them the beauty of this time, which is called the beauty of leisure. And we can talk about connecting them to reading. So reading can be one way which the children can do. It doesn't require many resources. Parents can do. And if we can teach young children to just read and develop the love for reading, then they're well on their way of taking care of their own learning, in many ways. So we can look at this situation as something that we can just associate children with learning. It will give them a purpose and they will not require as much of counseling or anything, because once we have a purpose, We don't require, we are not dependent on somebody else. So that is one thing I wanted to close with.
So much. And of course, Ruchi adds here saying that you really need to develop a rapport with your children. Maybe this is the time that you get the time to develop the rapport. Be with the children. Let it be a mindful exercise. You know, many a times we are not mindfully present with our children. We are just present physically. So there's a fantastic time to connect with the child mindfully. Yes, Pranay. I think we are bang on time with 90.
Yes.
Yes.
So I think we should all deserve a big tap on our back, because we have really maintained that.
Super.
So
Quickly, Pranay, I would want to take away from each one of you just a sentence takeaway for our viewers, please. Ruchi? Ruchi? Hello, Ruchi? Yeah. I think they're all mute.
Yes, everybody's unmuted now.
Yeah.
I'm answering to a question, and I'm also giving you a takeaway. It takes a village to raise a child. So parents, you can't do this alone. Teachers, educators, we can't do this alone. We need grandparents, we need uncles, we need neighbors, we need friends, we need parents, we need educators, and we're all in this together. We are that village, and we will raise our children beautifully. Thank you.
Fantastic. Yes, over to Monica.
You want me to say?
Yeah, the takeaway.
Okay, the takeaway is the one word: connect. You know, it's all about the internet connection. It's about the parental connection. It's about connecting with your children. It's about connecting with your teachers, building trust. So connect with each other in this time.
Takeaway from Aditya. Yes, Aditya, your takeaway.
I would just like to say that let's embrace the change wholeheartedly.
Okay, fantastic. Let's embrace the change. Yes, Purnima ma'am.
My takeaway would be collaborate well with the school, children, and the parent, and learn to educate children through everyday life.
Lovely. Yes, Swati ma'am, your takeaway for the parents.
Yeah, I feel it should be wow school. It should not be oh school.
Lovely, lovely. Wow school and not a O school. And maybe we can all end with a mantra, a new learning revolution. We are going to create a new learning environment, a new nurturing environment where we all succeed to, be empathetic towards each other and really walk this path. Yes, thank you so much. And it was a pleasure talking to you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone. And my final word to our moderator. Thank you very much, Sudha. Thank you very much. So we have our guest. We have two guests over here who are, one of them is Mona Dalmia from DLRC. Thank you very much, Mona. We have Ruchi Agarwal from Aman Setu School. She's the principal there. Thank you very much, Mrs. Swati Mutta. Thank you very much, Mrs. Purnima Shete. And thank you very much, Aditya Tapadia. So for all those who don't know, Aditya also happens to be the mentor for PCMC and many other committees. And to all of you who have not seen this video today, so you all can always go back on the Facebook page of the Early Childhood Association of India official page. You can also go on the official channel of ECA, that's Early Childhood Association on YouTube. So we would also like to thank our 108 participants today who have been really kind enough and patient to be here throughout the session. And last but not the least, to all those viewers who have not taken the membership of ECA and those who have not heard about it, or those who are here for the very first time, I urge you on behalf of the entire territory of PCMC, please become members. There is a lot of knowledge that is exchanged. There is a lot of information that is being passed absolutely free of cost on a daily basis. So if you want to be there on the WhatsApp groups, you're welcome to be there. You all can reach out to us on the WhatsApp groups, or also you all can leave your numbers over here. And last but not the least, if you have any questions, please feel free to write over here on the WhatsApp, on the WhatsApp groups, or also on the Facebook pages. We have a lovely panelists. They are very brilliant when it comes to replying to each and every single query of yours. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, Pranay, this session is incomplete because we're talking about alternative learning without Gijubai's book. So I think we really need to talk about it. Please, over to you on the Gijubai book, because it's alternative learning that is a session all about.
Yes, so we are coming up with a lot of sessions. So thanks for telling about this also. So very soon we'll be rolling up many more sessions. So one of them would also be the Gijubai Badeka Once Upon a Story, which is authored by our very own president, Dr. Swati Popat Watts. So we'll be also coming up with a lot of sessions on humor, a lot of sessions on comedy, a lot of sessions which also talk about rendezvous with sports. We'll also be coming up with a talk exclusively focusing on the dilemmas of parents. And last but not the least, we'll also talk about on a subject which primarily focuses on the mental well-being of children. With this, without taking a lot of your time, I would once again thank all our panelists for making it so crisp on time. And thank you very much, Sudha. And thank you very much, all our viewers. You all have been absolutely awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure. It was a
Thank you.
pleasure.